Okay, now we're going to talk about using a calculator. In the past, people have said, oh, using a calculator is not hard, it does the math for you, there's no trouble there. And then when we started doing really complicated things, people said, oh golly, I don't particularly know how to do that sort of complicated thing. So I think it is worth a class talking about how to use a calculator. And it's very important to know how to use your calculator well. Where are the buttons for the functions that we're going to use? How do you use them? Get to know your calculator. If you do not bring a calculator to class, I'm going to give you a 0 for the day. I don't want you borrowing a calculator from the person next to you. The whole point is that you A, have a calculator, that you B, came to class prepared by bringing your calculator, and C, that you get to know your calculator. I'm letting you use calculators in this class, but the point is I want you to learn how to use it. I want this to be the calculator that you carry around for the next 10 years of your life, and that anytime you need to do something in math, you use that calculator. So, the most important thing is, which kind of calculator do you have? There's two kinds of calculators. There's the function first, and then there's the function second kind of calculator. If you are used to one kind of calculator and you borrow the other kind, you're going to have a lot of trouble. Basically speaking, the function first kind of calculator, if you want to do the square root of 9, for instance, what you do is you hit the square root button, and then you hit 9, and then you hit equals. These are expensive calculators. This is your $80 graphing calculator. In fact, you might not even have a square root button. You might have to go into menus. You might have to look at options. It might be rather hard. And this is where, if you're going to have one of these expensive calculators, that's fine for you to use, but you need to know how to use it. I use cheap calculators. In a cheap calculator, to figure out the square root of 9, first you hit 9, and then you hit the square root button. And usually you don't even need to hit equals. For example, this calculator on my computer, if I hit square root first, it takes the square root of the 0, and then I hit 9, it just says 9. It's already done the square root. If I hit equals, I don't know what that is. What is going on here? I don't know why it's doing that. No, if I want the square root of 9, first I hit 9, then I hit the square root, and I get the answer of 3 automatically. Okay? So this is very, very important. I want you to know, are you using the $11 Walmart scientific calculator, in which case you put the square root button second. You type in the number first, and then what you want to do with the number. If you're using a fancier calculator, when you hit the square root button, you'll see a little square root appear. You'll probably see something when you hit the square root. When you hit the square root button, you will see something that looks like this on your screen. And then you type in the 9 on the screen, and then you can put the closing parentheses if you want or not. That's usually optional. And then when you hit equals, it will give you the 3. That is the square root of 9. Very important for you to know this. Other things I want you to know on your calculator. I want you to know about the parentheses on your calculator. Pretty much all calculators now have parentheses. They work like parentheses. If you type in an entire function with all the parentheses, it will give you the right answer. But you have to include all the invisible parentheses too. If I want you to know about how does your calculator do exponents? We are going to do a lot of exponents. On this calculator, the exponent button is right here. It's the x to the y button. The x to the y, the going up as an exponent button. On some calculators, it's what they call a caret, a little like raised up button. Now, on my calculator, if I want to do 2 to the 5th power, I have to type 2, and then I type x to the y, and then I hit 5. Actually, I think they all do it that way. And then equals. And right. Now, on a fancier calculator, it's going to show you the 2 and then the little. It probably have the caret on the fancier calculator. And so how do we do this? We say 2, raised up to the, oh, you even see the 2 raised up to the, see, it's even using a caret even though it uses that other button, to the 5, and then equals 32. Well, that is what you get when you multiply 2 by itself 5 times. You get 32. You need to know about your exponents, and I also want you to know about logarithms. This is the sort of thing that is going to drive the people with the expensive calculator nuts, because you're going to have to find where the logarithm button is. If you have the manual that came with your calculator, you might do that. In class, I will help you look for it. I'm not going to teach you how to use your calculator, but I will do my best. I don't know where they are on everything. On this calculator, so if I want the log of 702 on this calculator, on a cheap calculator, you type in the 702 first, and then you find the log button, and you hit log, and you get 2.84. 2.84 is the log of 702. I want you to know how to do this. So that's what this video is all about. It's called Get to Know Your Calculator. Specifically, I want you to know where the parentheses are, where the exponents are, where the logarithms are. And later on in the semester, I want you to know about the trig functions. The trig functions, pretty much, we are just going to use sine, cosine, and tangent. I think all calculators pretty much have these somewhere on the top. Sine, cosine, tangent, these will come later. We'll talk about those later. We will cross that bridge when we come to it.